6:15 in New York. We're looking at what opportunities we have here going into our afternoon and then into the rest of this week. One thing to point out here is that the Fed Fund futures have priced in a cut at the September 15th meeting of 2027. And you can see that there is another rate cut being priced into December. Now, as we've gone forward here into the morning, we have witnessed the VIX completing a profit target inside of its extension short. And that's what this is what it looks like. So we had let's go to the hourly chart here. We had a traditional short as we went into Thursday last week. That target was completed and then we blew through it. We had an extension, number one, which traded yesterday morning and then came 2 ticks away from its profit target. We had that original resistance level as our line in the sand, the 2310s. This is the more aggressive variation of that resistance, and it just completed its profit targets here as we're coming out of the daily doldrums on a Thursday. Now, the question is, as we move forward here into the end of the week, is will we see a profit taking off of that VIX profit target? And will we squeeze all the way back into a same anchor to now new low extension short? And what is keeping us from trading back up into that larger extension is an extension of an extension. It's drawn from the previous lows of our last extension to lows. And so what we can look at very closely here as we go into the afternoon is how does the VIX keep going straight down and the indices up into their larger equivalent targets here? And then where does the trend change from the perspective of making that larger retracement into our resistance at the 2223s? And that is a 2090 here. That is a 2090 line in the sand. You could round up to 95 here. And so below that 2095, essentially what that means is that the indices continue going straight up. Now, this is the equivalent of the extension short level on the VIX. And it's a little bit easier to see here when you're looking at it on an hourly. It's the same setup. Here's the traditional last week Thursday. The extension long level was front run, very large front run at a 38.2% line. And the profit target of that extension is up at the 68.9275s. And what we can watch out for as we move forward, you'll notice that we did not complete the profit target to the ES's extension long. And so if you think about this, there's 20 points between where the ES is right now and its profit target, where the VIX is. And so that 20 points could happen very, very quickly. It should happen very, very quickly. What we can watch for, if the VIX holds that 20, below that 20, there is a possibility that old resistance could become support here and lead us the rest of the way to that 68.92. Now, what would happen again if the VIX were to break above that 20.95 and make its retracement? If the ES hasn't completed its profit target, it just falls right back into the bottom of its range. And so that's why that VIX extension of an extension becomes so important. In fact, you can see here where the ES on a smaller time frame appears to have even been front run inside of that previous low. Let's go do some backtracking now, and we'll look at the dollar. The dollar is going back to weakening. You can see this pullback that it was making didn't hold. Dollar weakness, indice strength. Bank has been grinding higher all day. Bank strength. This stream continues at eMiniAddict.com. The link is in the description. Join me there for tools and resources for learning measured move trading. I wrote the book on the measured move. Check out the hundreds of others that have learned trading plan development, pattern recognition, money management, and trading discipline with me to become the best, most confident trader that you can be.